Hello, in today's video, we're going to be replacing the fuel door actuator on this 2018 Honda Accord. And as with many newer Hondas, this is a pretty common problem. And a quick way we can detect this problem is if we press the unlock button on the key fob. That buzzing that you just heard is the actuator itself trying to function, yet the internal gear just slips. Now if we were to press the lock button, same thing, except for the fact that it doesn't even lock anymore, allowing anyone to open it. When it's closed, this piece of the actuator should rotate and lock onto this part of the fuel door, but instead all it does is buzz. After verifying its function, or lack thereof, we can conclude that we'll have to replace our actuator, so we picked one up. And our new replacement will include both the actuator and the release cable. And here we got the part number for the replacement in case that you need it yourself. Now say that you encountered an unfortunate situation where the fuel door won't release or open due to the actuator sticking in the lock position. You'll want to look inside the trunk on the upper driver's side. These vehicles got this release cable that you pull on, unlocking the fuel door, allowing you to open it. So to begin our removal, we'll start here, starting by disengaging this cable guide, which retains it here up top. And to do this, it's going to have these small little tabs that we'll need to press in with something, like this pick, to disengage the clips. And it'll have another on the opposite side, but if we press in the tab, as we pull it down, it should unhook it off of this side. Once it does, we'll do the same on the opposite side. And now that we got it off, here we got a close-up of the tabs that we're pressing in to release this guide. We're going to have to transfer it onto the new actuator cable, so to do this, we'll use a flat blade screwdriver to open it up just like so. Once we open it up, place it off to the side for now. Next, we're going to want to remove the rear driver's side wheel, loosening all 5 lug nuts with a 19mm socket. Once they're loosened up about a quarter of a turn, we'll be lifting the vehicle from this pinch weld lifting point just in front of the rear wheel, placing a jack stand under the rear subframe for support, and remove the wheel completely. Although this wheel seems to be stuck on the hub, but nothing a rubber mallet can't help with. A couple taps and there it goes. Once the wheel's removed, we're going to want to remove part of the wheel well liner. And to do this, we're going to need to remove some plastic clips and screws. Starting with these 2 screws. So using a Phillips head screwdriver, let's get these off. Now for the clips, I bring out my clip removal tools, sliding it under the upper part of the clip, then pry the middle up, which should allow us to remove the clip, allowing us to remove this splash guard. It'll have 2 more Phillips head screws that we'll need to remove, and here we got one, and here's the other. Now for these clips that hold the liner, placing the clip remover between the upper and the lower piece, prying the upper piece upwards, allowing us to remove the clip. And the way to remove these clips is placing the tool inside the opening, then prying the upper piece up. This allows the tabs on the lower piece to squeeze in further so the clip can be removed. Once you're ready to reinstall them, you place the clip back into position while the upper piece is up or off, and we push the upper piece back down, locking the clip in place. Repeating this process on the second one, and this third one. For these next 2 across from the shock, I'm going to use the clip pliers, sliding them under the clips, then squeeze the pliers to pop them up and off. And we'll do the same thing with this other one. Now we should be able to pull back the liner far enough to give us good access. Sliding it out from here first, now we pull it back. giving us full access to our actuator. To remove it, we're going to squeeze it on the upper and lower tabs, which is the same as the one seen here on the bottom. Once you squeeze them in, push out on the actuator, and you should slide out past the tabs. But you don't want to push it out entirely just yet. For the release cable, we're going to want to push in this grommet, just like so. Now from the wheel well side, we can pull the cable out entirely. Once that's done, we can remove the actuator. And these are the two tabs that we press in on to allow the actuator to slide out. But before removing it completely, we gotta disconnect the electrical connector by pressing in on this tab. Once it's pressed in, pull the connector off. Before install, let's compare them both to make sure that they're the same. Looks like a pretty good match to me. Well, let's go ahead and install our replacement. Putting the cable through first, reconnect the connector, and just push the actuator back in till it clicks. Now from underneath, we'll grab our release cable and slide it through the hole, which leads into the trunk. Once it's through, push in the grommet till it goes in all around. Now inside the trunk, we'll pull the cable through, click the guide onto the cable, and now we clip in the guide into its corresponding hole. Finally, making sure that it's routed properly, which it is. And here we got what our actuator looks like before we reinstall the wheel well liner. Also making sure that the cable's not pulling on the connector's wiring. Well, let's go ahead and put the liner back where it goes. Placing it back in between the rear bumper and the bracket, just like so. Reinstall these two Phillips head screws first. Followed by the splash guard and these two screws. Just put them on loosely for now till we reinstall the clip. With the clip back on, we push the metal in to lock it in place. Clip back on these two clips that are across from the shock. The three inner clips, here's one, the second, and our last. And finally the wheel, torquing it to 80 foot-pounds of torque in a star pattern. And all we have left to do is verify the function, which first off, our noise is gone. Push the lid closed, let's try the lock, which it does lock now. Now unlock, and unlocks too, completing this actuator replacement. Well, I hope you were able to find this video helpful or informative. If so, please click that thumbs up button to support my video and my channel, and please subscribe if you haven't done so.